Hi there, Scorpio. Welcome to your August 2025 love reading. It's Raina from Tarot Alchemy with Raina Moon. My main channel is Raina Moon Astrology, and if you're interested in astrology, check me out there. I also have a couple of sets of tarot readings I do there every month, at least recently. So, yeah, but this is a love reading. So let's see what we got here. Oh, just a little friendly disclosure. I just started this reading over again because the first three cards, this is my rule. If the first three cards I draw are all reversed, that means it's user error. And sure enough, I had grabbed the deck upside down. So to me, that doesn't count as reverse cards because I do reverse cards. Reverse cards exist and I do them, but not when all of them are reversed because there are different, you know, interpretations for reversed versus upright. So I want to, well, here's a reverse. Speak of the devil. And this is for both singles and people in relationships. Sometimes I do those readings separately, and I probably will on this channel, but this month I just decided to do it combined. It's nice to have a little variety. Okay. If you are in a relationship, what I would say is that you may have interference around you and you feel outnumbered by, it could be family members. We have here the Queen of Wands reversed. Queens can be mothers, so this could be the mother-in-law from hell. And it's really funny because when I think of the Queen of Wands, I had this person who just laid into me about the Queen of Wands. And I was doing a reading and I was talking about the Queen of Wands upright. And I said something about being a drama queen or something, and that person took such great offense to my characterization of that card that way. By the way, I just closed two of my windows. It was so quiet here for hours. And right when I started this reading, I guess they're lawnmowers or whatever, but it's just like crazy how that happens. So I'm going to just proceed with the reading, and I just hope that it's not as loud for you as it has been for me. So we have it the central piece. Now, of course, this is a love reading, and this is new love coming in. And by the way, it can be this feeling of like accepting love or wanting to have that in your life and believing. When I say accept, like if you're in a relationship where you don't feel that kind of support, where you feel like your partner is too tied to their family, for instance, then you're like, it could be like, you know what, I want to be in a new relationship, or I want to really feel what love is, because this doesn't feel like love to me. If you're single, this can be someone who is, you also, maybe you are experiencing somebody that you feel has the potential to be a partner at some point, and you feel romantic feelings for them, or you're open to it. For you, the past position might be kind of like the workaholic, the person who's trying to get their needs met professionally, but kind of overdoing it. And that feels maybe like imbalanced. And the higher message really is the Three of Cups, which is about, to me, for everyone, it's about taking strength in your relationships, your friendships, I mean, specifically. And sometimes, and I think women might do this more often than men when they get involved in a one-on-one relationship with someone, that they kind of abandon their friends. I know that's not true 100%. Maybe I'm, totally broad brushing women by saying that, but I think that there can be some truth in that. And of course, some men might do that as well with their buddies, kind of like blow them off because they're involved with a new love interest. And it's really about how these people can balance you and support you. And also, I have to say, if you like are meeting someone, or you are uh, currently in a relationship, those people in certain cases can say, hey, we noticed that this person doesn't, they kind of spoke to you disrespectfully, or, they can kind of give you that feedback that maybe you're too much in la la land to really see. But also, sometimes they're the perpetrator. Sometimes they are frenemies in a sense, because you have new love, or because you are coupled with someone, and they're the ones that are kind of like trying to break you up with that person, to plant doubt that that person's the wrong person. Because I feel like um, this may be an obvious open enemy. Like, if you know about astrology, about the open enemies are part of the seventh house, and the hidden enemies are the 12th house. Well, sometimes the open enemy is obviously they always are going to be people that you can see for who they are, but you might not see it so much sometimes if they're your friends, because your friends may act like, I'm just trying to, it's just because I really care about you that I'm saying this, and really they're envious. So you have to be very careful about the messages that you hear, because this ends on a card that's connected to messages, but it's kind of like realistic messages. What crosses you is the Strength card. So it can be that you're in a place where you feel kind of vulnerable. And Scorpios hate to feel vulnerable in life. You like to feel powerful. But it's like maybe something has happened that's why I'm saying with the Queen of Wands in reverse, this person who may have this, to me, this is kind of like a narcissistic person, could be the mother of your partner's child, and she is trying to maintain control by using the child as an excuse to always call him. And of course, she has to call him or has to communicate about certain things with the child, but I'm talking about it's a ploy that she's trying to use. And so you may feel like you're kind of, I was going to say, like, outnumbered by people that seem like they're like, and that makes you feel weak in a sense, or feel like you're kind of the underdog in the situation. And really, I bring it back to that individual, like that your partner, that person's responsibility is to be loyal to you if you haven't done anything wrong. And if you are being unfairly attacked because certain entities want you out of the picture, then it's that person's job to have your back. And if you feel like that person doesn't have your back, then for a Scorpio person, it's toast. Also, in terms of love situations, that can be even like affairs. It might be an emotional affair, and it's coming from your feeling of weakness, feeling beaten down emotionally by someone or some people. And that can make it very difficult to feel comfortable in that situation. It's coming in. I'm putting it upright, but it's actually reversed. We have the Five of Cups in the upright position. It means mourning the loss of something. And it's that the person, and sometimes it can mean that the person is just seeing everything as a negative situation. When the two cups, they've turned their backs on two cups, which can be the silver lining of a situation. In the reversed case, I mean, if you're someone who has been a widow or widower, then new love could be coming in, or you're open to it. And this is because you have kind of healed from the death of your spouse, or even if you've gotten divorced and you're single and you're kind of healed enough that you're willing to go back into that situation. Sometimes it can mean the refusal to accept a loss. And so I feel like this can definitely be true for Scorpio people, because you're a fixed water sign. So your emotions can be very stubborn and rooted in place. And you're definitely, unless there's some real mitigating circumstances, like I'll give you an example. If you have the moon in Gemini and you have Venus in Sagittarius, you might be like, okay, next. Okay, I just got divorced after 30 years. Okay, next. But typically you're going to hold on to things emotionally. And so even if you are initiating, if you initiated a divorce because you felt like you had to, you still may mourn the loss of it, even though you brought on it, because you know that there were factors that felt like it was a loss anyway. But you have to really admit it to yourself so that you can move on. The outcome is a Page of Pentacles, and this, to me, in this context, is about thinking things in a constructive way. It means that because pages are messages, but I feel like they can be messages, that thoughts are messages to ourselves. And a lot of times our thoughts are kind of like, why couldn't this happen? Why did this happen? But when we are able to kind of direct our thoughts, and I hesitate to use the word control our thoughts, but we're able to direct our thoughts to something constructive, like looking at if you have met somebody, looking at, instead of like just going gaga over that person emotionally, if you really start to think about, do we have the kind of things in common or harmony that we could be together for the rest of our lives? Does this really feel that way for me? And you're being very pragmatic about it, that you will be able to see things in a very clear way. Alrighty, then that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.